My words can't even convey how powerful this is. So just watch.
Now I could never even imagine being that person, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, at this point where I am now, I know exactly who I am. I know exactly what my values are. I know exactly what I want out of my life. I'm not afraid to do things that I used to put off and procrastinate on for like years. I go get everything that I want to get. I'm confident. I'm the best compliment that Alicia ever gave me. She gave me maybe like 2 weeks ago, and she said, "You know, I never thought I'd see this version of you. You know, you're confident, you're collected, you're intentional, you're so different than what I ever thought that I'd see you as." And when she said that, it was just probably the best compliment I've ever received from anybody, let alone her.
If you want to say a version of that out loud in the near future, then all you have to do is watch this video and apply the 3 habits that he did. But before Killian was able to say that to me, he started off in a much darker place.
She started seeing somebody else, you know, and I came into the program and I didn't even know that at the time. You know, I knew that she had a trainer, but I knew nothing about it. And I just knew that her and I were not in a good place, and I wanted to figure out how to get her back. So I saw your ads posted online on Facebook, I think, and I was like, all right, let me see what this is all about. Had my call with Chantel. She's awesome, by the way. Don't fire her ever. And I realized in the first war room call that I had with Greg that I had no values. Now I came into the program not really realizing not even knowing who I was, seeing, you know, after reading No More Mr. Nice Guy and like reading through the books that you had suggested in the, you know, in the program, I really just saw like kind of the person that I was. And I was at a really low point, man. Like you could probably look back at the calls of Josh, but I went back with Greg, but as embarrassing as this sounds, like I thought about killing myself, you know. I was really low. Between the onboarding call and the first forum call, I was at the lowest point in my life. Like if I hadn't sold my guns because I was in a financial trouble, I probably would have killed myself.
This was a catastrophic place for Killian, like being trapped in a coffin buried deep in the ground with no way out. So how did he go from thoughts of ending his own world, his own life, to having the world at his fingertips, all in just 2 short months? Now, before I show you the destination of his success, I have to show you where he started, at rock bottom. You see, Killian was struggling mentally and financially and emotionally, and most importantly of all, in his marriage. He and his wife were in Vermont, and so their daughter could train to become a ski racer. The relationship has been on the rocks for a long time, completely void of intimacy and connection. Until the day she decided to leave him. You know that moment intimately, the wind being knocked out of your stomach, time standing still. It's like you are stripped away from reality. You're not here anymore. It's not even possible. There's almost no worse feeling in the world. She went to their home in Pennsylvania, where he stayed in Vermont with her daughter. Killian was still trying to hold on to a thread of hope, but it was cut completely when his wife hit it off with a personal trainer at the gym. What started as an emotional affair turned physical soon enough. Killian didn't know this yet, but all he knew was that his relationship needed help. He had no idea where to turn.
When I came into the program, I had already been seeing like a psychotherapist for maybe, I don't know, 4 to 6 months, and I knew that I had issues, but I didn't know, like, have any idea how to fix them.
Killian's therapy may have shed some light on the past, but it did nothing to save his marriage in the present moment. You see, us men need a game plan to take action on, not simply delving into the past for more awareness. It's helpful, but it's not enough to save what's most important. He needed a solutions-focused blueprint with hands-on action steps. Killian got on a call with us and immediately took action by signing up for the program. We were able to show Killian exactly what he needed to do to get on the road to recovery, to save his marriage and solidify his self-worth. And just 2 months later, he was here.
Work on things together, and since we agreed to work on things together, we've gotten like, we're actually like in a relationship now, and not back to where we were, because it's a new relationship. I have no problem setting boundaries, and I have no problem respecting her boundaries, and she understands that a boundary of mine is like, hey, zero contact with him at any time. And she's like, I totally understand. She's like, I don't want to contact him. I want to work on things with you.
The affair was done. He's a new man, and she's just as excited to work on their marriage. So how did he do it? Killian focused on the mindset of these 3 lessons, making them a daily routine, and the first one is an absolute game changer. This first crucial step is often missed because you're just simply not aware of it. Like termites living behind the walls of your home, eating away at the wood framing until your structure is damaged beyond repair and just the house is completely condemned. But all it takes to master this lesson is awareness. Listen to Killian describe it.
In the very beginning, when I joined the program, I wanted her to see it really badly. because I was still seeking that validation so much. And I think that honestly, once I really took to heart what I needed to do in terms of just focusing on myself and not focusing on the reaction that I was going to get out of the things I was doing, like if I was going to do the dishes, I was going to do them because I wanted the dishes to be clean, right? And that's just a small example, you know what I mean? But it's just, if I was going to buy her something like flowers, if I wanted to do something nice for her, I wasn't doing it to receive anything else. And in the past, I always gave to get. And when I didn't get,
covert contract 101.
always constant covert contracts. Everything I did was a covert contract.
Yeah.
Even with my friends, even with like everyone. My whole life was a giant covert contract. And once I really realized that you don't need to get anything to give, you end up getting so much more.
I want you to etch Killian's words on the walls of your soul. Listen to that back 20 times more until it becomes a part of who you are. I'm serious. The lesson I'm talking about here is that you must evict validation. It has no place in your psyche. It has completely overstayed its welcome. So stop seeking her approval and stop giving to get something back. In his book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Donald Glover talks about the covert contract. It's a needy behavior that most nice guys do. And there's nothing that kills attraction faster than these covert contracts. Doing nice things with a hidden agenda to win her affection. That's what it is. It shows her that you're seeking validation, that you're essentially low status, below her, and she needs to look up to you in order to be with you. This is the fundamental, most attractive thing that you must have. And so when you're doing these covert contracts, she's just putting you lower than her. She just can't respect you. Do you understand that? It completely repels her. But when you make this change by evicting her validation from your mindset, it's as if this trigger of an on-off switch goes off in her mind. She all of a sudden becomes attracted to you again.
In the past, I've expressed to her what the things are that matter to me. Like, I really appreciate physical touch. I really appreciate when she compliments me. I really appreciate those things. It matters to me in a relationship. She never cared about the things that I wanted because I was never giving her what she needed, right? And as soon as I stopped thinking about what I was going to get out of the situation, she willingly has just been so much more complimentary and so much more like a person to initiate touch and to be intentional about making sure that I feel like I'm being taken care of as a man.
This switch was incredible. But it wasn't just evicting validation that led to these huge changes in Killian. He had to dive deep into the second lesson I'm about to share with you. The best part about Killian's journey is that he didn't need to involve his wife in the process. These were changes he was making to himself, which describes the second lesson perfectly.
By really understanding what my values were and being really firm in them. Once I realized that, like, I care about my 6 core values, which are honesty, integrity, leadership, accountability, responsibility, and commitment.
Love it. I love that you know them off the top of your head. That's so cool.
Once I realized that those things really mattered to me and I was living those things every day, she could tell me that I was a piece of shit, and she could tell me that I was never going to change, and she could tell me that I was an awful human being, that I hurt her, and that I could listen to her. Then I could validate without feeling like what she was saying mattered, because I knew in my heart, in myself, that every day I read these values and I live them, that she can say anything she wants about me or to me, and I'm unaffected. So it was really,
you know who you are, right? So her opinion of you doesn't affect. The lesson here is to update your servo mechanism. If I asked you what your top 6 values are, could you tell me? Now, mine are courage, discipline, integrity, honesty. There's a couple more. I'm not going to go over all of them, but there's a website with over 200 values that you can find yourself. Scroll through them. And I encourage you after this video to scroll through with your eyes and pick out the top 6 and put them on the background of your phone. Just remember them, etch them into your soul, okay, your heart, because these will serve as guideposts for every action you take. For example, if you're confident, if that's your value, then when you walk up to your wife and you know in your mind, in your servo mechanism, that confidence is how you want to act with your wife in every situation, you will naturally be more confident because it's part of your software now. Killian can attest to this.
Really knowing who I was as a man is what allowed me to appreciate where she was and who she was as a woman.
And although these changes were quick for Killian to achieve, and it can be quick for you too, but only if you do this correctly. Now, if you need help with that, you know you can click the link down below to get a free marriage evaluation assessment from our team if you are fully committed and ready to invest in getting her back. Now, this took effort and focus.
I just worked on myself. I did. Every day I was in the program, every day I was reading books, every day, and I still do it today. I haven't changed my habits. Just because her and I are together, I'm keeping firm on what I'm doing. And there's times that she tries to pull me away. I'm like, hey, I got a group call tonight at 8 o'clock. I have to hop on. You're gonna have to take care of the kids tonight and get them ready for bed and do all that stuff without me. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. She's like, I need your help. I need you to do this. I'm like, look, I told you, Tuesday is 8 o'clock. I got to do this. And she respects it. She may not like it at first, but she tests me to see if I'm going to pull away.
Once Killian evicted validation and started to know his values on himself on a deeper level, he was in a prime position to apply the third and final lesson, a lesson that men have been learning since the dawn of time. Mastering this next lesson is what separates the masculine men who effortlessly attract a woman like a magnet from the needy boys who see you like a child. It's the difference between building your house on sand or solid rock. And if you apply what Killian did, it will spark a huge attraction trigger in her for you.
When she came to me and told me that she had gotten physical with this new guy, and one of my BIAs who I had talked to about this emotional affair that she was having, he gave me some good advice. His name's Jack Pylon. And he said to me, put it in a frame where she's already left you and she's already moved on, and that she's already physical with this guy. And anything that she says to you is going to be something that you've already experienced in your brain, at least, So when she came to me and she told me that, I was able to maintain a frame that she was blown away by. I could tell by her face. She didn't say anything, but I didn't react. I didn't get angry. I didn't yell at her. I didn't tell her that she had to stop. I didn't try to force her to stay with me. I didn't try to force her to do anything. I was just like, okay, I understand why you're there. I put you there. I was not there for you when you needed me. I was just not the man that you needed to be. And you found someone that was going to give you what you needed in this time. And I don't like it. I don't want you to see him, but I'm also not going to force you to do anything in the situation. I'm here for you and I love you, and I'm going to keep working on myself.
Killian learned to maintain his frame. Now I'm referring to the masculine frame that is unaffected and firm. Your wife's emotion is like that feminine energy, like the tides of an ocean. She will test you and she cannot help it. But as a masculine man, you must remain strong, like the stable shore to her ocean, okay? I don't care if she gets pissed off about work, she comes home and yells at you about the chores that were done, or anything. That's her feminine emotional turmoil. Those are all tests that you must learn how to pass. If you master this masculine frame, she can open up to you like never before, and when you pass those tests, attraction is triggered.
I've really learned how to maintain like a masculine frame, Yeah. Naturally speaking, I've been more of a masculine guy my whole life, but in my relationships, I haven't been, right? I've been a nice guy. I've been a pleaser. I've been a seeking validation kind of person, and in this circumstance, and now in my relationship, after going through this program, I have no problem maintaining that masculine frame. I have no problem being like, hey, I'm picking you up at 7 o'clock. We're going out. Instead of being like, hey, do you want to go out tonight? What do you want to eat?
Mm-hmm. When you learn to maintain your frame like Killian did, when you can stay calm and unreactive in the moment, when you know who you are and her chaotic emotions and opinions don't knock you down, when you know what you want and you're not afraid to go after it, when you take charge as a man and lead with confidence and empathy and kindness, she can and always does follow your masculine energy. She becomes seductive, rapturous, right? That feminine, flowing woman you love, okay? The person that can look at you with a smile in her eye and just light up.
Yeah, the attraction there is huge. Like our sex life has gotten, like that's the one thing I have to say that we've always had a connection with and has always been good is our sex life, right? Even when we were bad, our sex life was good, but it always went like this. Like it would go good, better throughout time. It's always gotten significantly or gradually better throughout time. But now it went from like here to like, you know what I mean? It's just like that polarity that's there and that draw and that pull and the natural attraction that's there now. And her being like you said, being able to relax and just pull herself back and not be so stressed and have to be in her masculine all the time, because with me not taking care of shit, she was constantly feeling like she had to mother me, and that's not sexy. Like who wants to mother their husband? But
that is the importance of maintaining your frame. It lets your woman be who she is meant to be when you become the man that you're meant to be. If you need help developing a solid masculine frame, there's a video right here on passing her test. I recommend you check out. Again, you click down below for the call. If you are committed to really changing your life and investing in this, smash the like if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next one.